Social soda.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Mr.
I needed
Frank
that.
Tubb, our producer over there.
I love that.
Well, happy Friday, guys. TGIF. And we are live, right? Welcome back to our show. We are trying to figure out if we are actually live. So, yep. Okay. So, happy Friday, TGIF. We have a special episode for you guys. We are continuing the Red Production series. I'm Digna.
And I'm Sabi.
And we are
the Social Soda.
So, guys, before I introduce our amazing guests over here, we want to thank all of our Red Production sponsors. So thank you guys so much. You guys are a huge reason of why this event is happening. We want to start with senior sponsor Arnold Garza of Center Real Estate Group. Yay!
This wouldn't be possible.
I know, yes. So Kay McCunis.
Yeah.
Versa and Ment. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Down the street, Michelle Tello.
Yay.
Exodus Title, Southern Mutual Insurance Group, and of course Charlie Ewing. And thank you to you too, because you are going to be doing food for the event. So with that being said, guys, please, I would love to welcome chef, business owner, model, and activist, the owner of Chefs in the City, Edwin Henderson.
Woo!
Welcome.
Before we start, can I say a special hello? Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but it's just that it was brought to my attention that we have a very special little fan. And she's a 3-year-old little sweetheart by the name of Grace, and she likes to watch our show.
Really?
Yes. So I wanted to tell her that we love you and thank you so much for watching us. And we both send you a hug and a kiss. We love you, Grace. Thank you so much for watching us. So
awesome. So, Edwin, you do everything. You do everything. Sabi was kind of, we were kind of like stalking you.
Yeah.
And actually, before we
it's our job.
It's
your
our
job.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all right.
And we're Latina, so we just do it anyways.
I
But
leave my page public, so everybody
no, but funny story. So we did an episode for Valentine's Day, and since we had met you at the fashion show for the Divine, and then you actually did Nick. What is it? Not Nicholas. What's his name? Danny Wynn.
Yeah.
You did Danny Wynn's show. So I actually took my mother. My mother works in kitchens, and she is
She's a snooty.
She will be so snooty about people's food. Let me tell you, she went over to your table like 3 times, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And she's sitting there eating this soup and the meatballs, and I was just like, oh my God, look at you. So I was gonna reach out to you and book you for our Valentine's Day episode, but we ended up doing our little thing.
Well,
so,
we got a little idea. So we went with it. Well, you were busy, so we went on Plan B, which was really fun.
it was a lot of fun. But see, we always get what we want, and we have you here now.
Yes. Whenever you all need to utilize it.
And,
And the Social Soda loves its military because I'm a military mom, and I saw that you served in the Army.
I did. I was in the Army, 8 years, and something that was always a passion. I was a Boy Scout growing up. Grew up here in Houston, but I grew up in the inner city. And, uniforms always caught my attention, and so started off as a Cub Scout, and eventually, made it up to the Boy Scout level. And in high school, I joined an ROTC program in addition to running track, because it was just something about the uniform that it intrigued me. And it was each person that I saw in uniform, it was just a certain way they carried themselves.
Yes. With such pride.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that the biggest thing is the appearance. A lot of times you're perceived based off of how you carry yourself. And I think it was something about ROTC that just instilled some different values, things that I guess reinforced it. I could say, but eventually, everybody was talking about the military, and I was one of the ones that was, I stayed true to me going in. Eventually, I wanted to do it right after high school. I went to college, did a few years, but that desire to still not necessarily be in uniform, but to be in the service, it was always there. I think it was just that call. I think individuals, there's some that ultimately go into college funds, and that's great. And I don't knock anybody for going in, because like at the end of the day, you still serve the country. So, you still need to be rewarded for that service, but then you also have some outside of the college funds that there's just this deep-rooted passion to serve. And I think like when 9/11 happened, we had a lot of individuals that were, they felt a calling, like they were doing something completely different, and they left their careers to serve because they felt like it's what I'm supposed to do. And so I think I had that desire at a very young age, and not really realizing that it was going to continue on in existence even after the military.
And I understand what you're saying, because when my daughter left, she wasn't right out of high school. She already was 23 years old, and she wasn't accepted at first because she was overweight, and she was struggling with math. So her what is that?
ASVAB test.
So she didn't do so good. So she worked so hard to get her test scores up. She worked 9 months to lose the weight, and her requirement was to lose 25 pounds. And she ended up losing 40.
Oh wow.
And she trained. She wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
That was her calling.
And that speaks volumes of her. Because I know a lot of people that were interested in going in, and their ASVAB scores weren't as great, and ultimately they just gave up. But a lot of times it lets you know the difference between it shows you the makeup of individuals, not that the person that failed the test and that didn't go back a horrible person, but it lets you know that if you really desire to do something, especially in the area of service, you're going to make it happen. There's nothing that's going to stop you. You're going to rise to the occasion. And I think that's an obstacle that allows people to develop and grow. And doing that, it says something about her, because it's only a small percentage, 1% of America that ultimately serves in the military. Even though we have a large military, it's still really, when you think about it, in proximity of just Houston alone. The largest military population exists, or one of the largest exists in Houston. But at the same time, it's still small in nature. You still don't get a lot of people that serve. I went to Israel a couple of years back, and they make you serve.
Yeah.
There's no option. Once you graduate high school, you're in the military.
Yeah. Is that the country where even the women?
Even the women serve.
She's in the military.
And it's like what you said, that passion for servitude to serve others. And it's crazy because when I speak to my daughter through FaceTime, she lives for it. She is in her element. She's so happy to be there. Some people complain about having to do this or that, but she's living her best life. That's her thing. It makes me happy to see her that she's fulfilling her dreams. And to somebody, they might think that's not a big deal, but it is a big deal.
Speaking of, she's logged on and she said, "Go Army!"
Go Army, boy. Hua means nothing, but it means everything. It's a word that people ask about. What is this hua? Each branch has their version of it. Marine is hoorah, but in the Army, even when you're going through training, it's like hua drill sergeant. It's basically saying, drill sergeant. And sometimes hua means like completely something different, opposite, but it has a multitude of meanings. But if you say it, veteran community recognizes.
Now I feel bad because my daughter's watching, and
I was like, does she know that you're spilling the beans on all?
And my son is also in the Army. He's here in town. He surprised us for the weekend, so he's actually he just came back from California. He was doing a combat training. So if you're watching, Randy, hopefully
now with being in the military, then you continued to be in uniform and you went into law enforcement. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the transition, it was. I know that I'm not made for an office job. Being behind the desk is not my forte. Because in the military, you're always moving around. You have admin specialists and things of that nature. But I've always just saw myself as somebody that can kind of pick up and go and do as I please. So I knew just kind of coming back from Iraq, taking a regular job per se, I would have gone crazy. I would have had more gray hair than what I have now. This didn't happen until right after Iraq. But I decided to go into law enforcement because it was just the military is a paramilitary organization, and so the structure is just about the same. Rank structure and the chain of command and things of that nature. So, and also service. Because, police officers already get a bad rap just because of a lot of things that happen in society. And even at the time that I was with the department, it was still going on. Social media wasn't as prevalent as phone act.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because do you feel that more things are happening now, or is it just being exposed more?
I'm gonna be very honest with you, it's just being exposed.
Exactly.
It's been going on from the beginning of time. It's just the fact that now we have a device that can actually catch it on the spot and make it live. But so when people say that it's, certain things that are happening in our culture right now or in communities, or it's new, it's not that it's new. You're just becoming abreast of the situation. People have been making complaints about it. That was the reason why I went to law enforcement, because I knew officers a lot of times get bad raps, and at the same time, just sometimes the people don't understand, because you can take a person that's a police officer that's never grown up in the hood or don't really know how to deal with somebody from an inner city community, and because you came from some type of financial background or where everything was elite in the community. So for me to go in, I took a more humble approach, because I know at the end of the day, I can't whoop everybody with my hands, and that's not the purpose of being a police officer. My job is to go out there and to provide a service to the community, at the same time to be able to protect and serve the community, and to do it in such a manner to where if I do arrest you, at the end of the day, that I did my job. And I had several people that I arrested back then that they recognized me from school, and of course the familiarity, they wanted to say, hey, let me off the hook, because well, I can't let you off the hook, but what I can do is I can take a different approach. If I'm arresting you and at the end of the day your car has to be impounded, I don't have to impound your car. Nothing says that I have to impound your car. Now, if you're acting a jack with me, then yeah, I'm gonna probably go ahead and get it towed. But at the end, if you allow me to do what I have to do, I may allow somebody to come and pick up your car, so you don't have to go and pay extra money, because now you're already dealing with a situation with legal fees. So I think that's what law enforcement needs to do a better job at, is that it needs to do a better job when it comes down to the training of the individuals and how not to take the appearance of somebody and just automatically come up with your own judgment. Because you could deal with somebody that's dressed a certain way and automatically start handling them that particular way. The person or whatever that looks like they came from rags, you're going to probably treat different than the person that's dressed up in a nice business suit.
That's very
true. But the way that I approached it was always, this person is just as important as a person that has a business.
Absolutely.
You handle each manner in a respectful way, because I think that's the impression that law enforcement should be known for, but we're not.
Yeah, never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. Well, thank you so much for serving our country and serving the community.
Honored to do so.
Yeah, that's amazing. So tell us a little bit about your other ventures that you have. I mean, you
went from serving our country,
serving the community.
And then you were a banker for a minute, even though you say you don't like to be indoors.
Yeah.
So how did you go from? Were you a state trooper?
I was a Harris County Sheriff's Department. At the time, it was department, but then they transitioned over to Harris County Sheriff's Office.
So you went from sheriff then to a banker.
Well, I went back to working for the bank at that point, so I had a good relationship with the branch manager.
Yeah.
And in that process of me trying to figure out what I was going to now do, I wanted to still make an income, even though I had money saved from when I was in combat. It was one of the things where it's like, I don't want to just have idle time. And I had a really good relationship with everybody. And I was a 24-hour branch. So I still had the liberty to kind of move around. When things got slow, you walk around Walmart and look at what you want to, buy, doing Black Friday or something, Excuse me. It was going in banking, but then the Sheriff's Department, that faded out because I realized that I had certain battles internally with just seeing dead bodies and working homicides and suicides and various different things that it began to start playing on. I just decided to take a break. And in that process of taking a break, I discovered a nonprofit organization. So I went actually working into a nonprofit long before I decided to start a business, and I started working for a veterans service organization. So we created what these things are. They're called service platoons. So in the military, we have platoons and formation and various things. So these were community platoons that were activated in various different areas around the city. And so I discovered here in Houston at the time, we only had one, with the second one coming along. So I started working, initially I started volunteering with them because I started realizing my internal issues that I was having was starting to consume me. And it's nothing wrong with wanting to be a better person, but then sometimes you can focus on yourself so much that you forget that the answer actually is not
To help others.
It's to help somebody because you're going to find the answer in helping somebody else. And so I made a decision. I'm like, man, I really have not made it a point to get my son as active as I was in volunteerism. And so I found this organization and I started volunteering with them. And my son would come along and we'd be out in the community working in gardens, at elementary schools, building playgrounds. We would work with Kaboom and Barbara Bush Literacy Foundation, building library at schools that didn't actually have libraries. And so from seeing that, what I decided to do was, now apply for the organization, but they did not accept me. So I was like, oh crap, and I always really wanted to work for them. After hearing the model, but then I stopped and asked myself one day, well, why do I have to wait for somebody to hire me for me to go out and help veterans? I can start doing this myself. And so in the process, that's when Everyday Health started. And that's when I first actually started my business. I started as a personal trainer. And the purpose was to help the everyday person, become healthier and become better, comfortable and confident within themselves, but also to help veterans so they could get back out and get moving. And when I was at Office Depot, I was getting ready to file some paperwork, fax it off, and I got a phone call from my former supervisor, asking me if I still interested in the job. And so I took the position and went in there and worked there for a year and a half, and then I eventually transitioned on from that, and that's where Chefs in the City came.
So tell us about that, because were you always into food? Because I mean, your food is it's not just your average like basic, meatloaf and it's like your food has it has flavor, it has sazon, right?
And it looks good too.
It's
beautiful.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think like your whole brand is really unique and it's really cool. So where did that passion for being in the kitchen and obviously the serving of people is all there, but I mean, when
it started when I was a kid, and I don't know if you all are familiar with rice-a-roni. Back in the day, the San Francisco trees.
Ding ding.
I used to make my kids rice-a-roni sometimes.
So it started with rice-a-roni, and I grew up in a single parent home, and my mom, wasn't there a lot, and I guess it was a term that you were a latchkey kid when you had one of the neighbors or something that was kind of looking after you. And so, doing that, it's latch. It's a term they call. They don't use it that much anymore, but it's latchkey. And normally, it's basically like a neighbor or somebody, looking after you. May come by and check on you, but you're at the house by yourself, for the most part. So, I had, an older lady named Miss Burnett. They used to come over, a white lady, and she used to just kind of like hobble over and, check on us and make sure we were okay. But, after she went home, it was me trying to do something for my mom. And so I started cooking that. She used to make better.
So you were a chef at a very early age.
I guess it started when I was a kid. And then from the rice-a-roni, then it was a hamburger helper, tuna helper, to which I will not ever touch a box.
That stuff is not good.
It's not.
You got to do what you got to do.
When you're growing up and you're trying to feed a family and you need something quick and you don't have time to, do the whole gourmet stuff.
I think my only favorite one was the chili mac one. And I put
that
cheese
one
on
was
it.
pretty,
I put some cheese
you
on
can hook
it.
that one up a little bit.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Well, don't ever try that.
Yeah. I would never.
Hopefully they don't make it anymore.
I guess we grew up with the equivalent, which was rice and beans,
Well, exactly. So it started with that, and I think even after I left the nonprofit organization, I actually went back into working in the logistics area. Because that's what I did ultimately in the military. So I wasn't even a cook in the military. It was just one of those things where I think it happened by chance. Certain things in life that we don't foresee happening propels us in certain ways. I started having, I started battling with PTSD situations and having night tremors and various different things. And so in the midst of battling all those different things, it was me still getting out in the community and serving. And so I started serving at home.
That's hard to battle with.
I wanted to touch on that because you were working with veterans, and we know that is it's a serious issue, PTSD. Do you feel that your servitude kind of helped you get a handle on all of that?
It did. I would say it helped tremendously because of what it does is it takes the lenses or the focus off of you. Not that you completely forget about yourself, but you start giving of yourself a little bit more. I think you know, as we as a society start recognizing, the more that we can give to others, the
It
more
was therapy for you.
it is. It becomes, I mean, that's why they have like equestrian therapy, because you're taking care of a horse, you're taking care, or you have the service animal because you're taking care of something outside of yourself.
Because I feel like your attention is focused on that one thing, so you're gonna get lost in that thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
You forget everything else. So I can see how that would work.
I had several guys that were healed in certain aspects or another, to where their PTSD became invaluable. I had a real close friend of mine that's since passed, named Merlin. And Merlin was, you know, Army Ranger that, you know, I always, we met in Missouri, and you know, I had an opportunity, the Wounded Warrior Project, to be able to like really get an opportunity to know each other. I noticed that he was battling with some things, and through him battling those different things, he got involved in the same veteran organization that I was serving in. And so he started noticing the transition with him, and he was already doing it before. He recognized the demons that he was battling internally. And he got involved, and it was one of those things where you start seeing a transition with him. And so that inspired me more wanting to start serving, because, you know, he's real big with, there's a motorcycle group called Combat Vets, motorcycle group. And he was real, you know, big advocate for them to get them served, or to go out and serve, because many of the veterans that you come across, a lot of times they just don't want to be out in public. You know, they're at home, they're drinking, and they're drinking their problems away. They're involved in, you know, heavy drug use. And so what I noticed through the organization is that the moment that these guys went out and started working at some elementary schools and building these playgrounds, and you start seeing individuals that have nothing, just so appreciative and thankful for the fact that you're out there, that you even, excuse my French, give a damn, you know, then that starts touching the hearts of those veterans, and it started making them have that sense of purpose, because that's ultimately what they were missing, was feeling a sense of purpose. Because when you're serving, you have a job. You're getting up in the morning, and even if you're not in combat phase and you're not in another country, you're still doing your job, and you know that you're serving the country. And a lot of guys that came back, now they're back in society. It's a hard pill to swallow, because you don't feel like you're useful.
Yeah.
Because even when you're on base, you have to get up and be at PT at 6:30. Whether rain or shine, whether you are active or like if whatever's going on, you still every day must be out in the field at 6:30. Even if you don't go to work that day, whatever, but you must be there.
Well, I think there's a lot of science behind, you know, getting tasks done. It's like the feeling of checking off that thing. So it's like getting out and being, it's like, okay, I have to, you know, help build a wall for a school. Check. You know, it's like your endorphins go on, and it's like you feel fulfilled.
You do.
So,
And that's really what the basis of it is, because a lot of the issues and things that we struggle with, they never go away. You know, as much as people like to say that a lot of times you can get rid of PTSD, I don't necessarily agree. I say that you can. I believe that you're able to cope with it better.
exactly.
Because when you go through a traumatic experience, or you're shooting at somebody, another human being, and you're having to process, you know, okay, I'm shooting at this person because they're the enemy, quote unquote. But at the same time, then when you really start internalizing it, they have families as well. So that becomes a battle of the duality of man, because it's like you're shooting at somebody.
We feel you're doing the right thing.
Right. And they're thinking the same thing on their end, because they're defending their country. So it becomes this thing of, it's like, even, you know, when I got in the law enforcement side of it, it's like, man, now I'm not overseas, but, you know, now I'm seeing, you know, my own people. And when I say my own people per se, I'm just meaning just as a human race, you know, within the area that I stay in, committing suicide, or, you know, commit homicides, or, you know, you're seeing, you know, bad accidents, and it's like it becomes a lot for the mind.
It's overwhelming. Like, it tugs at you. Like, you just don't know how to deal with it sometimes. Even for myself, sometimes when I'm at a light and I see a homeless person, I can't even like look at them, because I feel bad, and then I feel guilty that I can't help them. I feel sometimes I'm too empathetic. Like, I just feel too much for others, and I feel bad at the same time. It's like, I can't help them.
But that's a good feeling to have, because I think that's where a lot of society needs to be. Because I think we've gotten to a point where we've lost that empathy for other people, to where we remain in tune with humanity, or with just humanity as a whole, because we're desensitized by a lot of things that we see, and to be able to have that feeling, that I get the same way. It's almost hard, and I'm not not wanting to make eye contact with them for that reason. It's just the fact that it's like it tugs on your soul to a point where it's like, I wish I could do more.
Yes, it
Which is
hurts a
why
little bit.
that's really how Chefs in the City started. It started with me serving the homeless out of the back of my SUV and just making pans of food. And then the name Chefs in the City starting with the concept of when I was in Iraq, because I love the show Sex in the City.
Oh, we knew
love
it!
that.
I knew it! That's why we are
That's-
sitting
yeah.
here. So Chefs in the City.
I love that.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
knew it. We totally talked about
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. So I watched Sex in the City after we came back from mission.
You're probably one of the 5 guys in the population that admits that like sex.
And
in the city.
it's other of you all out there, I guarantee you that.
Right?
Just go ahead and come
Well,
out.
I know Richard, my son, loves it. We watch Sex in the City all the time. Actually,
Yeah.
we watched it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
we
yeah.
knew.
But if people ask me all the time, did it come from that? Now, I always have a funny story behind it is that a friend of mine would have his mom or somebody send a DVD set. So our DVD player was set up in the chapel of our little hooch where we stayed in Iraq. And so after missions, I would take a shower, and that was my kind of like decompression chamber. So I would go to the chapel, and I would watch Friends. And I'd watched Friends before, but I've really watched Friends. Like I watched every episode, and then Sex and the City. And when I finally got into the culinary industry, I started thinking, marketing is, a good part of your business and how you can brand certain things. So you want to be able to have something that people are going to remember, and that's something that's catchy and something that's very simple. And what they're going to associate to.
I love it.
So the moment that you hear Chefs in the City, if you were anybody around any TV, you would probably associate it with Sex in the City. But then you're going to automatically think too, okay, well, Chefs in the City. It's like you said. To me, it was a good concept because there's so many different components, avenues that I could do with Chefs in the City. But mine was really not necessarily that I want to be able to do all the cooking. I love cooking, but I don't want to do all the cooking. I want to be able to outsource other chefs that are even better than me. Like a good majority of my team are individuals that have been in the culinary industry way before I got in there. And so I draw off of them and their expertise and their creativity to be able to help kind of design, the direction of where we're going, because I don't have it all played out in my head.
Because you also participate in other type of events. Like I saw you were in Cooking After Dark,
Right.
and then there's other events that I've seen.
Yeah.
Can you explain what Cooking After Dark is?
So those are services of Chefs in the City. And shout out to Chef James is one that first presented the idea to me. He went off for a short period of time to be able to do some things with the NBA players as their personal chef, and so it was trying to get the idea of what Cooking After Dark looked like. We had discussed some various different things about what we were going to do, and I was like, okay, well, Cooking After Dark. Well, the best thing that I could see at that particular moment was being able to have multiple chefs, preparing different cuisines attached to a theme of the event. So, for instance, we had one that was themed country girl.
Well, I remember the one for New Orleans. Because remember we talked about it
Yeah,
on the show.
we gave it a shout out. Yeah.
And that's where it ultimately came from. It was just being able to kind of create a culinary social vibe is what I was thinking. Because you go out to the club, and I started going to the club when I got back from Iraq. I'd never been to a club before. I'd never drank a lick of alcohol. And you're exactly right, because it fizzles out. You get there and people aren't really dancing. I mean, they're having a fake good time per se. They're there. Everybody looks good, but nobody's really creating a great memory. And so, one of the things that I was thinking is, how about have a place that people can come to? It's not going to cost an arm and a leg to be able to get in, but you're going to have some good quality food. You're going to have some dope ass chefs. Excuse my French.
Yes.
But you want to get there, and everybody, everybody's not necessarily a foodie, but everybody loves food because that's what we need.
Everybody loves to eat.
Exactly. And so to be able to get the creativity from the other chefs that are part of the team, because I didn't want to present something that was just solely like we're creating these little frilly plates with flowers and things that you're not going to get full of.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I like to eat.
Yeah.
I like a full plate of food. Don't give me that little fancy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hungry.
Yeah.
There's been times that we've done like the fancy dinners, and I'm still hungry, and I'll go like to drive-through, think
And you're still going to get
a
something.
burger place. I'm totally going to admit that because I like to eat.
Right. And that's what the guys, men and women on the team, that they all do. Neither one of them specializes in a specific cuisine per se. And that was a great thing about each other. The diversity that each one has is what I was seeking, because I wanted to be able to say, okay, well, Chefs in the City is not necessarily Chef Edwin. Chefs in the City is Chef Tria, Chef James and Chef Kamal. It's comprised of various different chefs, in different areas, and the whole goal is to be able to take it in different cities and be able to recreate that same concept, even with the cooking after dark. Because I think when you come to it, you recognize it's an opportunity to get to know people. Because I'm, as much as people like to say that I'm an outgoing person, I'm not.
We're the same. We're
Yeah,
introverts.
I'm very much introverted, but I've learned to push myself outside of that box.
I think
You're very good at pretending to be extrovert.
The only time I'm not shy is when I'm on camera on the show. But once this is over, I go back to being shy, Sabi. And she knows, because when we first met, we instantly we gravitated towards each other. But I was too shy to say hi. But so she came up to me and said hi. And then we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
So
we totally get you, because we'll be like, we always have so many events that we are gonna go to, but we get home, we don't want to come back down.
Yeah, right.
It's like we'd rather spend time with our cat, with our dog, with our men, with our family.
Yeah.
So we totally understand. But get us in front of people and we can chat your ear away.
And that's a great thing. I mean, it shows that you're always able to kind of recreate yourself and add different things. And so that's how I've always kind of developed myself. Is taking from individuals that I hold in esteem, or I can recognize and say, hey, they got some good quality. Maybe not everything about them is great, but I can take that one thing and then kind of recreate it and make it my own. And if I feel like it's something that I want to add, I had my previous supervisor when I was in the nonprofit area. He came from an Ivy League school, but he was very great at public speaking. He was one of those individuals that was just as passionate about service. So you start recognizing those different things and seeing how they're doing it, because there's nothing in a sense that's new under the sun. It's basically just kind of taking those same concepts and ideas and then recreating them for yourself.
making them your own.
And I think that's a key point to any business that's going to grow and thrive, is you surround yourself with people that are better than you on aspects that you are not. So it's like you can't be good at everything.
And that's so true, because you have to be with a group of people that inspire you, that you learn from, that you grow with. Because if you're not learning from them, or they're not learning from you, then that's probably not the right set of friends.
Yeah, and you know what? If you think that you can do it all, I don't think that you're necessarily going to get too far on whatever it is that your mission is, because you can't do it alone. You really can't do it alone.
And see, that's a lot of, and identifying where your stumbling blocks are is a key component, because I think that's my biggest area. That it's still trusting the fact that individuals that I'm passing on a vision to, or something that I need to be done, allowing them to do it without not necessarily micromanaging them, but to a point where just allowing them to use their creativity. So if I give a concept with the Chefs in the City team, each one of them are independent business owners themselves. So they were doing this long before I ever said, hey, do you want to become a part of Chefs in the City? But when we started doing Cooking After Dark, it wasn't a situation where I'm like, okay, well, chef, you cook this, chef, you cook this, chef, you cook this, and then you have to do it this way. This is the concept, this is the idea. What do you see as you as a chef? What do you want to present? And then each one of them comes with something, I'm telling you, that's stellar. It may be something simplistic in nature, but it's the way that they put it together. And I think that's the same way that I cook as well. I don't focus on a certain cuisine. It's just solely me knowing the flavors of different foods, or me just sometimes being creative and trying it out and putting something together that you never would have saw being put together, and then consuming it and enjoying it.
Well, I love it, because it is all delicious.
And what inspires you for your cooking? Like, what type of flavors do you like, or what type of food? American food, French American? Like,
I would say it's a lot of Latin, Caribbean, and then sometimes maybe just a concept of a soul food, because I've been doing a lot of different things with that, because that gets a bad rap because of the fact that a lot of times it has a lot of fat. And it's like, even when you think about like Mexican food, a lot of times they're using lard, different things like that. So that's when I started as a personal trainer.
My mom uses lard in her beans.
And a lot, I'm gonna tell you, so a funny story is I was working in the Woodlands as a manager for the event company, and 90% of my employees were either from Latin descent. So you had some that were Cuban, you had some that were Mexican, you had a good mix of everybody in there. Spanish, and it was me.
Good food.
But the thing is, I didn't know this about tamales at the time. I was very naive because they were like, "Oh, you work out a lot, but you eat tamales like it's like nothing." And so we would have a lady that came in and she would, sell tamales on a Friday, and I would buy like 3 dozen of them. And by the end of the day,
They're so good.
they're
though.
gone.
How
But
can you not
somebody
like
stopped
them?
and said, "Oh, you know how they're made?" I said, "Oh, it's just masa or corn and your chicken or your whatever else you're putting in there." And they were like, "No, you're missing a major part of it. It's the lard." And I'm like, so I ended up having to slow down after that. Because I realized that's why I was actually picking up more weight too.
Well, if the beans aren't refried with lard, they're not refried beans.
Yeah,
They're just stuff.
My mom still uses lard, and I try to not eat
I
every
love
once,
them.
but
I think everything in moderation is what we
Yeah.
have definitely learned. Because I mean, if you look at French cuisine, they are very high in fat. They have sugar, they have carbs, but the French are trained that it's like you eat until your body feels full and then you step
Then you
away,
won't, right.
So, and I mean, and they're all like super slim.
and
It's
we don't
like,
do that in America.
yeah, and it's actually, it's frowned upon to be full. The way that we get full, it's frowned upon over there.
And
Yeah.
I'm assuming, I don't know, but they don't eat fast food like we eat fast food.
America.
I think America eats more fast food than a lot of countries. There's some things that are here in America that other countries don't even allow.
Yes.
They're banned.
That's what I've read before. So I honestly would prefer a home cooked meal over fast food any day.
Yeah.
Like my stomach will tell me sometimes no.
Yeah.
And I'll be sick for about 2 days if I eat something that's too high in starch or like just fatty or
Now, you gotta listen to your body, and you gotta slow down and you gotta listen to your body. And sometimes those things may be high in fat, but you know what? If you slow down, listen to your body, it'll tell you when you're done.
But sometimes you do need the fat, especially like the good fat, like the
You
fat on
do,
meat
you do.
or things like that.
I'm not gonna lie. So I used to eat like super, super clean, and I don't mean to get off subject or whatever, but I used to like be super clean eater. Used to work out like 6 days a week, and I actually would retain more weight as opposed to now that I moved to Texas, and like I do incorporate some fats in my diet. Like I feel like my muscles get bigger faster, and it's like
I don't diet. I've never had to do a diet in my life.
Yeah.
I don't. I eat what
Well,
I
it
like.
wasn't a diet. That's just how
No,
I ate.
but I know, like, I don't. Even the word diet makes me think I'm hungry.
And you should. I don't even like using the term because it
Well, people
automatically
use it wrong.
they
Yes.
use it wrong because what happens is they look at it as a temporary fix to get them somewhere for that particular moment.
Yes.
So I have a cruise coming up or I have a vacation coming up. So let me go on the diet up until this time, and then when I go on this trip, I'm on the board. Rather than you just try to incorporate a better lifestyle.
your
Not saying that
life.
you're going to commit to it 100%, but like I have a lot of friends that are vegan. I know that I'll probably never go vegan.
No.
I would
But
do that.
I will do this. I'll incorporate,
Yeah.
vegan days where I'll try to eat the majority, veggies or
Well,
however I put it
sometimes your
together.
body
Like, I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with like eating large quantities of meat or chicken. I eat very little of it, but so I don't think I could ever go vegan because I do need like the 3-4 ounces of meat or chicken or whatever. But I like my lifestyle that I can eat whatever I want within reason.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't want to feel restricted that I can't
Right.
eat what I want because I always want to be super slim or I rather drink the calories. If I want a cupcake,
Eat a
I'm
cupcake.
gonna eat my cupcake.
And that's where I think most people right
Yes.
now,
Yes.
they're missing out on the joys of life is the way I look at it. It's like, it's great to say that you're going to commit to this lifestyle forever, but, and to each their own. But at the end of the day, like, I want a cupcake or I want a slice of pizza, I'm going to do that.
Have you ever noticed that when you eat something that's so delicious, you just even do a little dab, you're like, oh my god, this is so good. Or like, I love
like
that feeling when something is that good. And you're just like, oh my god.
Eric
yes.
actually, because I love food. I love food. So I lived in Vegas, so we have some of the world's best chefs in our backyard. So I love food. So he'll like sit there when we go to dinner and he'll like wait for me and like he's like, you didn't do your dance. I'm like, it's okay. He's like, so he knows that it's like if I do a little
when I start
dance.
doing this and I'm like, he's like, you please. I'm like, yes.
So
I love a good
to
meal.
your point, what you said. People are like restricting themselves and not wanting to eat this. I think it goes back to what you did is actually getting out there and doing something. Because if you're out there doing something and you have your endorphins going, it's like you come back and you know that it's like, okay, it's like I've had enough for the day. If you're sitting around at home being sulking or playing the Nintendo, it's not Nintendo, It's not.
That's our age group.
Everyone plays Atari.
It's PlayStation.
It's Atari.
It's Atari. It's Atari. It's the frog.
But if you're at home, doing that.
So you're not gonna you're gonna put on some weight.
Yeah.
And we talked about the service of sheriff. We talked about banking, and then we talked about you work in the community service. So let's talk about how did you get into the rep production? Because we know that you love doing being a service to your community. So how did you become involved in this thing called #the rep production?
So it started actually when I was at Danny Wynn's event, and I was actually I modeled for him, and so he reached out.
And that's how we met you
the first time.
And we actually took a picture with you.
Yeah.
We didn't post it. We can find that picture.
Yeah. So it was there, and then doing the, he wanted me to be able to cater some of the events. He actually wanted me to model and cater it at the same time.
That's
I'm like,
hard.
It was, I tried one time, and I tried to rush to get there, but it was just myself that particular day. And I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work. So I decided to really focus on the food side of things. But then I met, two fine gentlemen, Boy and Bobby, there, and the energy,
They're very high energy.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because I realize, like me personally, I don't have that same energy. But it's an infectious thing. But sometimes, I always say this, when you're in a company of good people, like you can just sense it. And that's when, you can kind of hit it off with a person and they just have that special dynamic that it's just, you can't really deny it. And you reached out to me in regards to being able to do something for Red Production.
He's
and I'm
very
like, great.
passionate.
Yeah.
He believes in the cause.
Yeah. And I'm all for, being able to do what I can on my end.
And because you've also volunteered a lot for Camp Hope.
Yeah.
Which I'm putting in my application, so I hope I get approved because I want to do volunteer work for Camp Hope this year.
So how is working with Camp Hope?
Yes. So working there, I've had the opportunity to be able to serve the vets, and it was really coming up with bringing them something that, again, I said was memorable, because many of them are going through a transition and dealing with drug abuse and various different things. And this is really kind of like their last hope in a sense. Like, okay, we need to make sure that you get yourself better so you can go and be effective, because each veteran has something special about them, and something unique that I believe our society needs. Because the World War II generation, when they returned from combat, they were given the term the greatest generation. And that was because they went out and they started doing things in the community, such as building railroads and the highway systems and all the different things that happened back during that time period. It's because they came back with a sense of purpose. But then you have a lot of veterans right now, when you think about as far as back to the Vietnam era, those guys came back, men and women alike, with situations where they weren't recognized. Well, now we're in an advanced society where the veteran is recognized, but they're coming back with still not the adequate support that they need. And so now, establishments such as Camp Hope is providing that and being able to, bring veterans together that are dealing with some of the same issues, because we know, what the other person is going through. Sometimes it's not even really just saying anything, but it's just having that person to be able to provide that care and that love to you, to be able to help you get through that situation. And so we went there and we did a taco. I'm a taco fan. Don't. Well, there are people. I'm gonna tell you this. There are people out there that don't like tacos.
I don't believe that.
Believe it. I had a Facebook war with somebody last night.
Well, there's people that don't like avocados. Can you believe that?
I'm an avocado fan. I love avocado.
I mean,
we can't be friends if you don't like avocados.
Yeah.
No, like just saying. Like seriously.
That's
what will we eat?
That's the best thing in the world. So we went and did a taco. It was a Wednesday when we did a taco event, and it was just to go and be able to serve the guys and say, hey, we're here to support you. And I think the good majority of the team came out. We did the Taco Tuesday, but we also did karaoke as well. And it was one of the things that when I sat down with the director, I didn't know that they were initially trying to hire me as a chef for the establishment. But that's what they were doing. But I was just trying to go in there and do some volunteer service. And he told me that their biggest issue is the guys, they get their food and then they go back to their room and they're not really interacting with each other. And so that if you're at an establishment that's meant to be able to help you, but you're still not out, doing different things. My thing was trying to provide, some kind of program or something that would be able to bring that memory to them. And so the tacos, it really brought them out because it was, interacting with somebody that's a vet that owns a business. Many of them were business owners as well. They just had issues that brought them there. And then, when I first got on the mic, and I think I was singing, "Body Like a Back Road" country song, and then it got the guys tapping their feet. Eventually, some of the guys came out and they got on the mic, and it became this big joyous thing. But then some of them started pulling me aside and individually giving me a hug. And for
that makes it work.
To have a combat veteran, walk up to you and say, "Man, I appreciate you," or "Thank you," and it's like I'm not looking at it like this. I'm telling you, that's how I felt that particular time, because it was like, I had one guy. He's like, "Dude," he said, I think I even recorded him on a video because I wanted him to share his experience. And he said, "Dude," he said, "I don't know you from anybody, and I've never done this for anybody." He said, I really don't talk much while I'm here, but he said, "I'm willing to do that for you," because he said he sent something. And I think that was what the team was about. It was not just about bringing them, some great tasting tacos, but it was really serving from a heart of compassion.
They were good tacos.
To be able to just to give them that memory, that hey, another veteran that is dealing with PTSD and is out now doing certain things, for you to see that and hopefully inspire you to continue on to be better and get out there and be with your family.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Well, what's next for Chef?
So what's next is really trying to find a balance still. Because the biggest thing is trying to get your business out there and get it going the way that you would like, but also trying to really identify what direction you want to go in. Because again, like I was saying, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted Chefs in the City to be, but then now that I have the Cooking After Dark, that's a part, and the Let's Make a Meal, some various different components to focus on. It's really still now implementing the cooking classes. Let's Make a Meal cooking class and cooking for life.
And you do really fun stuff like a girls' night cooking class.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. And that one promotes.
And I think that's also really wonderful because, like you were talking about the eating, people have really bad eating habits too. They'd rather eat out. And how fun would it be to get together with friends and cook and eat a good healthy meal?
Yeah, and sometimes people don't understand how easy it can be.
Well, you're a great cook, and you whip up these meals like in 15 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
We actually, for Valentine's Day, we cooked a Valentine's Day meal and made dessert all in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we complicate cooking a lot of times, and we don't have to. You can take some simple leftovers.
I literally did that the other day. Yeah. I made tinga one night, and I had all this leftover chicken, so I made it into little roll tacos.
Yesterday, I was gonna say that was so beautiful,
so easy.
And then you put the little
and then the cabbage and just
like,
make it look pretty.
Yeah.
You were saying you were saying that the females cooking classes. You were gonna say something in regards to that.
My biggest thing has always been with youth. So this is not something I ever really share with a lot of people, but I actually went to Bible college. When I was right after my freshman year of college at a Christian university, but then I transitioned over that. So my area was to work in the youth department. I was always big in working in youth ministries growing up. So I've always still been compassionate about youth because when you think about it, as much as we complain about society, we aren't intentional about what we're investing into our kids and to our teenagers, because ultimately they're going to be the next ones that are adults. And if our society is jacked up, the reason why it's jacked up is because the kids or whatever that we brought up didn't have the.
Thank you.
And I want to congratulate you for setting such a great example for your son. And because of all the things that you do for the community, I mean, you're instilling those values and beliefs in him, and he's going to grow up to be a fine young man with all these values that he's not just seeing from others, he's seeing it from his own father.
Yeah.
So
children do as you do, not as
you
say.
I think that's the biggest thing is showing him an example of it rather than just talking about it. And then, with that being said, I identified a lot of youth that don't have that. And so I volunteered for an organization as a mentor for a long time called Ambassadors of Compassion. And so Ambassadors of Compassion, we would go into the schools. I think we were focused in Kashmir, in the Kashmir Garden area. And I was at Wheatley High School, and so we would go there once or twice out of the week and sit down with a group of some that were in the ROTC program and some that were just part of the mentorship. to sit down and really to find out some of the stories that you're hearing. I heard them when I was at the sheriff's department, but now to really be in the actual school system and to hear some of these stories and the things that they're dealing with, from sexual abuse from their parents, and one little girl being pregnant from her father, and the psychological damage that comes with that. And so the best thing that you can do, it becomes heavy.
Yeah.
And you have to take that home with you. But that's where this Cooking for Life program came from. It was birthed out of serving with Ambassadors Compassion. And so it wasn't necessarily about, I think, when we sit down and we have food, we think about family, whether it be you sit down at the dinner table or you sit in the living room with a TV tray watching TV, or, bringing food in the midst of people. Even when I was in Iraq, when we sat down with a sheikh, we always sat down with food or we had tea, because I was kind of like that come to Jesus opportunity per se, where food is that neutral zone, where the opportunity where everything can kind of be laid out, where you can communicate, talk, and know each other. So to be able to do a cooking class that does the same thing and have somebody to be able to come out, we'll have a female class and then have a young men's class that teaches about love, influence, forgiveness, and experience are the essential things that I think that we have to, not just as kids and youth and teenagers, know about, but we as adults still need to implement those things. But more so kids, because they're the next ones in the generation. Because when you think about why we're having the issues that we're having in our society, the number one reason is because we're not loving each other. Mm-hmm. If everybody loved everybody and really was genuinely compassionate and thoughtful towards other people, none of these issues would exist. We talk about why this is going on. It's ultimately, it all goes back to love. And I think that was really the first part of me, when you think about cooking. Well, when I cook with love, because it's exuded in the food that I cook.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I tie that into the program.
And when you say that, it reminds me of a lot of our cultures, like Latin culture, when we show love through cooking. You come over, let me cook you something. What do you want? It's that.
I'll get mad if you don't eat.
Yes, I get mad.
I won't get mad, and I get mad if you eat without me. Oh, we are fighting.
Yes. So I can totally relate to that, because in Latin culture, that's how we show love, through food, through serving you, waiting hand and foot on you, because we love you. We want to express. We want to show it. And so I can definitely relate to what you're saying, and also about how the kids are growing up. I don't know if you'll remember like that famous phrase, where like, especially when you're getting in trouble by a parent, when they say, "Do as I say, not as I do." Yeah. So you have to lead by example.
Which is not the truth.
Yes. You have to lead by example, because kids will challenge you. Well, why? Yeah.
You have to be able to show them the receipts. Hey, because this,
because the youth, based on their circumstances or where they live, they don't have to be products of their environment. They can break that cycle and be better, do better, because there's a lot of smart kids in bad neighborhoods or broken homes. They're not.
All they need is a chance.
Yeah, all they need is
And
somebody like
that's
you.
the biggest thing is we as adults take an opportunity to say, okay, let me not be so busy within my own personal life. And it's not that you're going to be able to volunteer or be a mentor all the time, but do something outside of, it's great to be an activist or an advocate or somebody that donates money. It's great. But then sometimes, just that presence.
But that's easy.
Yeah,
Giving
and it's
money
easy.
is easy.
It's easy. It's a very indirect way of doing it.
Because one of the most valuable things that we have is our time.
Yeah.
And if we can give that to someone, that means more than any money in the world.
And I think one of the things that I really love about you is because you are a person of color, and with the Hispanic community and the Black community, they're taught that, oh, you shouldn't be sensitive, oh, you shouldn't be compassionate, oh, you need to be macho man, the kitchen is for the women. And that's not true.
It's not.
That's not true.
Well, I tell you what, some people are better than women.
Oh, yes. Why do you
my
think
gosh.
like some of the best chefs in the world, majority of the best chefs in the world are men?
Yeah.
And we need to get away from the stigma. And look at you.
It is.
Here you are, a guy. You're like, and you look so cool doing it. You look so cool doing it.
That's true.
That's how you have to make it look appealing.
Yeah.
If you're out there and just looking like,
It's like frazzled. No.
I don't need to like bounce back and forth, but we were talking about the Red Production, and you've joined the Red Production, and what exactly is it that you're bringing to the Red Production? Because I've heard there's going to be some food I want to talk about. I want to know, because
we'll be
Yeah.
able to taste in your
Yeah.
hand.
We'll definitely have the opportunity
Chocolates.
to taste. You know, I'm still right now allowing my creative juices to flow when it comes down to what I'm going to serve. But you know, I think one of the things that you can always expect, you know, from the Chefs in the City team is just going to be a great interview. You know, from each one of us, and just some dope ass food.
There you go.
So Chefs in the
It's
City
so
will
fast.
only be cooking, no modeling.
I don't. Well, you know,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey,
Possibly.
Are we gonna have a men's line? I'm not. We're talking to Boy over here, guys. So
if the opportunity presents itself, and you know, I need to get out there and sprinkle some salt and pepper on the runway, then I'll do so.
you
So
know,
fabulousness.
you are doing such amazing things. You are all over social media.
Yeah,
You
he
have
is.
such a presence, and I know that you're growing with your Chefs in the City. If there are any young chefs out there that maybe want to do like a summer, you know, kind of like internship to help you out, can they do that?
Yeah,
Are you
they
looking for
definitely
help?
can.
Because I know that you're gonna. The more you grow,
Correct.
you're gonna
Hey,
have to
but
start
don't you
delegating.
have the adults? What if?
Oh
maybe
yeah, the adults too. Hey, yeah.
You know,
there you go.
adults alike, you know, you all are definitely welcome because the Let's Make a Meal, and I'm going to tell you the great thing about my Let's Make a Meal cooking class. That one is, you know, I definitely would love, you know, chef interns to be able to come in and to be able to work alongside me and other chefs. But if you're an individual that have always loved cooking, or you're just now getting into cooking, if you have an amazing recipe or something that you want to cook, what I'm doing is offering an opportunity where you can actually be a guest instructor. So it's not necessarily going to just be comprised of the ones that are part of the team. But if you're just somebody that I've always thought about going into the culinary industry, but you know, you never really took that step or that leap
I
of
love
faith.
it.
Now you have an opportunity to instruct a class. So you bring whatever recipe that you want to teach, and it'll be marketed that way that you're a guest instructor. But then you'll make money for that class. So basically, you'll get a percentage of the cost of the profits from the class, and it gives you that opportunity, and it gives everybody else an opportunity to
That's
see the
awesome.
gift that you have as
And
well.
let me ask you, have you ever thought of doing like a chef series, like a live or something? Because we talk about this because she loves to cook. Tina loves cooking.
Yeah, I've been kind of stalling on my little cooking channel.
So
I want to do.
are you ever interested in Chefs in the City ever gonna go live?
You know, I would say that would be a great thing, and I honestly had not thought about that part of it.
channel?
You know, me and my son will do, you know, cooking with D2 every now and then. Him and I'll be, you know, whipping some things up. But I never really thought about that. But I think that would actually probably be
That would
good.
be really
I think
fun,
that would
yeah.
Yeah, because when we got different team members of the chef, because I have chefs reach out to me all the time because I think they like the concept as well. And so that would be a good opportunity to like feature, you know, different chefs around the city of Houston.
I think that would definitely be a great idea, just to highlight, because you have so many different types of things happening. So I think that would be great to let people know what you're doing, what you're up to, and bring on other guests that are.
I appreciate the idea. I think I like that. I hadn't honestly thought about it.
You should.
Well, we definitely like to join you.
Yeah, you need to have us on as guests, so for sure.
Do my certified taste test.
Yeah. So, anything else you wanted to let our audience know? When is the next what is it? In the dark?
So the next one actually has not been scheduled yet because I'm trying to wait on some certifications because I wanted to do an outdoor event. That would have been, there's a park that's across at I-10 and Taylor called, it's Studewood or Stude Park, but you get a nice backdrop of the downtown
The one
skyline.
with the red.
Yes.
I grew up at that park.
So
Actually,
that's where I
grew
want
up
to
in
do
the
an event. And I want to be able to have the lights and things on the tent, but I need to make sure I get the right permits. So I'm projecting the next one to be at the very end of May. We are going to have cooking classes at the end of April. So what I do is rather than do a cooking after dark every month the way it started, it's now doing it every other month, where it allows me on the off months either do a collaboration with another business owner or to be able to do the Let's Make a Meal classes. So like the month of April is designated for the Let's Make a Meal class, which I can send you all the link.
Yeah, please do. Keep us posted. We will definitely blast all of that information out, and we would love to attend your next class.
Okay.
So yeah, we can even do something. We'd love to continue to collaborate with you. And what are your social media handles, and how can people?
So
reach
social media, you can find Chefs in the City under Chefs in the City 713, and then on Facebook it's under just solely Chefs in the City. I'm working on actually getting the web address. I'm trying to own the domain, but to own Chefs in the City is going to cost me $5,000.
Oh my God!
I think it's because of the catchiness of the name. So actually, I guess you all can help me out.
You need to start a GoFundMe.
Well, not necessarily help me out financially, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do chefsinthecity713.com or either do CITC.com or either Chefs in the City HTX. I'm trying to. I need
You
something.
should start a little poll on
Yeah,
Facebook.
maybe I'll do
I
that.
think at XHTX, yeah, you should do a little poll on
See what
Facebook
people
and
like.
Instagram
Okay.
but HTX will definitely kind of do this, and then as you branch
do
out, you can do ATX and
Oh, that's right. You're right.
LBS or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, we're not very technical, but that makes
Yeah.
sense because you can have different sites and then
Right.
it'll funnel into one.
All into one.
So,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm
that's
not very
okay.
technical, but yeah, as
Yeah.
somebody who knows.
We got you. We're very. I'm creative when it comes to certain things, and she's very creative when it comes to other things. So if you ever need any help,
Yeah.
we
So
got
it
you.
works. We just like.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But,
I appreciate it.
So that's happening, and then we're seeing you May 24th at the event.
and
you-
also at our viewing party this Sunday.
Yes.
So we'll be
At
there.
down
So
the
guys,
street.
down the street. So guys,
And you
check
ask
our-
where? Down the street.
down the street. I don't know the address, but it's on our Instagram and our Facebook. We'll go ahead and we will repost that. So please, guys, come and show up.
You want to say hello to a few people?
Yeah, let's say hello to a few people. So, Anabella was on. Rosa was on. Manny Castañeda. Manny says, "Happy Friday, ladies."
The
And
social
Anabella.
soda.
Yeah. And then Eunice,
Love Eunice.
Frank, and Boy were on. Your
And
daughter.
Flaco, I know my beautiful daughter. Love
So,
you.
and
Love my
Flaco was
princess.
on. Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly.
Michelle,
Hey, Kim.
Monica, Esmeralda,
Edward, Boy.
Omar, our boy Curtis.
Curtis. Omar Marcos.
What's up,
Gina,
Omar?
Mike Martinez. Galavis. That's cool. Galavis. And then Jonathan Spurscam. Is that like the actual San Antonio Spurs?
I think he lives in San Antonio. He actually has a daughter in the army too. He's very
nice. Daniel Langlois. I'm very bad at pronouncing.
Langlois. Marcela Rojas Sarabia.
Yeah. So.
Because we're bilingual, y'all. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, seriously. We just can't pronounce anything.
We're trilingual because we speak Spanish, English, and Spanish.
Yeah. So, Edwin, thank you so much for. I know this was quite a hype for you.
It's
We
all right.
really
This was
appreciate.
fun this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, we had a totally off.
We
week
had a
this week.
very eventful week,
Yeah.
to say the
So,
least.
but we appreciate you coming out and sharing your story.
Oh,
Yeah. So, thank you
Yeah,
again.
thank you all.
We'll be seeing a whole lot more of you and hoping to collaborate with you here in the near future.
Thank you.
and before we want to bring Boy on? But
Just for a
before we
second.
do, can I say thank you to
Yes,
the
please
sponsors?
do.
Again, we just
Super
want to thank our
important.
sponsors. Arnold Garza of Center Real Estate Group, which is sponsoring this amazing space for the venue. Kay McCunis, Versa and Mertz, down the street. Michelle Tello, our Mrs. Houston.
Yay,
or your
Michelle.
Mrs. Houston. Exodus Title. And we have Southern Mutual Insurance Group. That's a long mouthful. And Charlie Ewing.
And of course, Edwin Henderson.
Edwin Henderson.
Henderson, right here in the
So,
flesh.
Queen Bee, let's come over here.
I love when she says that.
And guys, just wait for the
Yeah, there's-
episode that we have for next
Yeah.
month. You guys are gonna,
It's
you guys are gonna
Yeah,
die.
you're
You
gonna
guys are gonna
gag.
die.
You're gonna gag. It's gonna be high energy. It's gonna be amazing.
More
And
details.
one last thing, guys, we are still looking for sponsors. Boy, what are the tiers for
Yes,
the
we have
sponsorship?
500, 750, and 1,000. I will be getting out the letter this Sunday to you guys and sending that out. We are always looking for sponsors. If you want to make a difference, 100% goes back to AIDS Foundation Houston. Everything that we do, every ticket sell, 100% of that ticket goes back. And the reason we can do that is because we have amazing sponsors. And I want to thank Edwin for being a part of it, bringing amazing food. But not only does he bring amazing food, it's classy, it's professional, it's approachable, it's good, it looks good. I know he sat in that kitchen after everything was done. I just was stuffing my face with all his food. It's just really, really good.
Well,
He's stellar.
In his character, you know,
He's a good guy.
Great,
He's a good human being.
giving person. You have great values. You genuinely are a caring person. So I think you couldn't trust a better person.
In my heart, I
Just
don't
point
believe there's
that
a
out.
better chef, a better human being, a better personal trainer, a better public figure. He's a really good guy.
Because you are.
You are a public model, you know. I mean, he's a good human being. But I want to talk about the event really quickly. What date is it going to be?
May 24th.
May 24th. It's going to be here on Live Oak. We're going to have
1601
Live Oak. We're going to have Patty Linden Potter, who has absolutely made it. You've had her on the show. She's incredible. Raised over 6 figures for nonprofit organizations. We have Nicholas Wynn, who is an incredible couture designer. He is, you know, city renowned, country renowned. He's shown at New York Fashion Week. He's shown in Austin Fashion Week. He is really, really incredible. We also have live performances coming to you that are going to be incredible.
Gosh, we're so excited.
Our VIP experience is going to include Edwin, some food from Edwin, one-on-one time with all the artists, the fashion designers, and all the people that are going to be here. And 100%, that $25, 100% of that $50 ticket goes back to AIDS Foundation Houston. This is an actual benefit. This is a campaign. This is a way that we can give back and destroy the stigma. We're going to have some amazing people on, too, that we don't talk about yet.
We'll be giving more details as we go.
As we get closer.
Don't overwhelm anybody. I do want to say that don't just watch this video. Please share it. Please talk about it. You know, I know it's easy to share, but please talk about it. Talk about the topics. Buy a ticket. It's only $25. VIP is $50. If you know of any, you're gonna have a great time. If not, you know,
where else are you gonna get? Where else are you gonna get unlimited alcohol for the VIPs? You're gonna get a wonderful prepped meal from the chef, amazing guy. Yes. You're gonna get one-on-one time with Nicholas Wynn, Patty Linden Potter, Edwin. I mean,
it's gonna be a great show.
It's going to
be. Honestly, it's not just gonna be a charity event. It's going to be an experience that you will be talking about for months.
It's gonna be a party.
It's good. It really is, and I'm reaching out to all my close friends, guys. I want my friends, I want my family to be there because we want to change Houston.
I know we are selling through the VIP tickets. How many are left?
We have 15 left.
Wow, guys, $50.
So if you want
VIP ticket.
We have 15 left.
Experience, you gotta act now. Get on that Eventbrite.
If you don't want to do VIP, $25, guys. $25. That's
Starbucks money.
Yes,
really
I spent $5-6.
And most importantly, I want to talk really quickly about what it goes to. It goes to housing. It goes to medication. It goes to therapy. It goes to job placement. It goes to individuals that are positive, that are in the system, the prison system. When they actually get out of the prison system, they help stay on medication. Yeah. AIDS Foundation Houston help finds these people jobs. We have a food pantry there. So this is all these funds, 100% goes back to our wonderful city and to destroy the stigma.
Guys, if you want to know more information on where the money is going, please take a look at our last episode where we interviewed Tom Robinson. You have all of the information. It was about an hour long, and it'll break down exactly what AIDS Foundation Houston is all about. It's an amazing organization, and this is what we're doing this for, guys.
Absolutely, and I want everyone to walk away before we end. This is not a gay disease. It is not a black disease. It is not a white disease. It is a people disease. And that stigma is a people stigma. You understand? It's when you get a diagnosis that you are now positive, your world changes now. We go to a space of negativity, self-doubt, you know, what's going to happen to our lives. And we want to destroy that because you know what? You can live.
And you know what you're saying goes back to what Edwin was
That's exactly why I like this guy.
Loving one
people.
another.
Loving
all
people.
Down to love.
Love, and that's it. Hashtag
Theredproduction.
Everyone deserves love.
Well, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
For tuning in, guys. Please tune in again next week. We are going to be at a special time. It's going to be somewhere between 3 and 3:30, guys. You guys know how it goes.
You know we're punctual,
yes, we're going to have the fabulous
Mark Harvey. We love you, Mark.
Makeup artist.
And we didn't say his name. Mark Harvey is one of our series sponsors. Ryan LaFleur, Mark Harvey.
We're still on there.
My two favorite humans in the world.
Yes.
So guys, make sure that you tune in next week. Again, thank you for tuning in today. Please share, like, comment on it.
And find this guy's social media. Follow him. Blow him up because you know without people like him, we don't exist.
Information in our videos, so everybody will know where to find Edwin and Chefs in the City. Find the Theredproduction and the Social Soda. Anybody else who's involved, we'll definitely tag them. We'll tag our sponsors.
Oh, and please share our video. So we want to make sure that it gets out there, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000 likes on our Facebook page, so please help us do that. So
we're
that's
almost
kind of
there.
yeah, we're almost there. So that's just kind of like our little goal. So if you guys can help us out, we're hoping.
Make it happen.
Yeah. So
All
love
right.
you guys.
We love you guys. We love you, Houston. And remember, everyone deserves love.
Yay!
I'm gonna be cheesy. And we are
The Social Soda. Okay, let's try it again. We didn't know. We didn't know it. So
One more
guys,
time.
what?
One more
Okay,
time.
we're doing
one
one
more
time.
time.
And
we
1,
are
2, 3.
We
We are the Social Soda. Woo! We love you guys.
It's a wrap.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
coming.
Thank you so much.
Y'all, that was awesome,
That was
guys.
awesome.
Good job. That was a good show.
That was a
Good.
I